Hello Internet, welcome back to more Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. I think I'm going to cut the last episode. Basically what we did was we harvested our onions because they have a decent calorie and they don't perish very quickly. So here we have onions, they last for 2 seasons. So we decided we would harvest all of those and replant a bunch of them, which we did over here, just because of space over here and pulling our vehicle through. I thought it would be better to put it somewhere else. The other thing we harvested was these are the onions, and these are barley. We harvested all of the barley because it doesn't have it stays good forever. And unfortunately, I thought you could cook it like oatmeal, but it turns out you can't, but you can turn it into flour. So I thought, well, we'll replant a bunch of that. You know, it's day 11 in summer. We want to be able to get one more harvest out. The rest of the vegetables we decided to leave alone. The potatoes are not yet ready, but the carrots, tomatoes, and cucumbers are ready to be harvested. The problem is that they have such a low calorie count that it's not really worth it to like vacuum seal or smoke them or dehydrate them or whatever. So we're just going to pick them and eat them as necessary. We're not going to worry about replanting them right now. There weren't really any recipes I could find with the carrot that I thought were valuable. Same with the cucumber. Tomatoes can be made into sauce, but we don't have a canning pot or really the setup to do that yet. So we're not going to concern ourselves with that. And then down here we have these raspberries, and the seed potatoes should be done, I would think, in maybe 2 or 3 days, and we will harvest them and replant them because they also keep for a long time, I believe. So I decided to cut the last video because we just did a bunch of stuff. I think I foraged a little bit, I checked out a lot of cooking recipes. I didn't really do anything, and as I was recording it, I thought, this crap's pretty boring. I don't think anyone wants to watch this. So I'll just cut it out. We did also, we cut down some trees and loaded our charcoal kiln because I was thinking we would dehydrate all these vegetables, and then of course it turned out none of them are really good for dehydrating. Is it worth dehydrating like a 50 calorie carrot just to eat 50 calories? Like the time investment and it's just not worth it. I'd rather pick them and eat them as we need to. So don't think we're going to be doing that. Obviously, if we had something like pumpkins, which are, they're perishable, but they last for a really long time. I think potatoes are good for that. And then, of course, like wheat, barley, canola, those things we would see a lot of value in. But unfortunately, we don't have those seeds. I also thought, hey, we could replant the marijuana. But I don't think you can turn marijuana into seeds. I think you have to have the plant in order to turn it into seeds. So not super concerned about that. Lots of charcoal in the forge. Nothing we can really do with the forge. Today I think maybe even during the daylight hours here, because it'd be easier to drive and we've forgotten a lot of the tiles up here. I think we'll go back to the old base. We'll check out if we left anything behind. Yeah, it's all just not memory anymore. And we'll gather up some cattails and saltwater, which we will need for flour and things, which we'll turn, basically you turn the cattails into starch and then you turn the starch into flour. I really shouldn't unload these things. I promise I'll just unload this one batch and then we'll go, because I don't want to spend the whole episode unloading. I thought I had done this in the previous episode. Actually, we put gold and silver separately, if I remember. Yeah, so we'll do this instead. Should have done this off camera, I apologize. Wasn't really thinking about it. So, drop all that. We'll drop the beverages. We also gathered a lot of pine boughs for tea making, because I want to be drinking more food with calories, or drinks with calories attached to them, as opposed to just drinking water, since we need more calories now. Weapons pile, drop the Ruger, drop the 9mm, reload the Saiga while we're here. We're also going to pick up some of the shotgun shells. Sure, we only have 6 00 left. I guess that's double-aught shot is how you would say that. We're going to carry those with us just for emergency purposes, because we ran into 2 Migos and it made me think, hey, maybe we should pretty much always have lots of ammunition on us. Drop all that stuff. We need 1 refillable lighter for emergency fires. We can throw the helmet on. And I think that's probably... Oh, we are tired. I would like to drive up there during the day, but I don't know that we really have. Why don't we pick some more food since we're hungry? And I'll show you. So here's some carrots. You'll see a carrot has 28 calories, which is obviously not worth spending a half an hour to dehydrate it just for 28 calories. Oh, this is a good time to point out, I also have, there's a TV on in the other room, and there is someone mowing their lawn next door, so that's quite loud. So I do apologize for that, but I need to get some recording done, otherwise we won't have daily videos, which is something I think is important. Same with the tomato, 32 calories, not really worth it. A lot of quench though. Oh, a lot of carrots though. I didn't realize you can harvest so many carrots. We're just gonna eat all of them. We're still hungry. We are not starving or anything like that. We were just peckish. I don't know why we went from peckish to hungry. That continues to be a source of agitation for me. Do we have a 60-liter tank in here? We don't. We're gonna put this, well, it'd be nice to have one that wasn't all busted up. I don't think we have one though. So we're gonna go ahead and load this, just so we have a big vat we can fill with salt water. Put the spear back on as wielded. We've eaten. Why don't we take a little food with us, just in case there's no food up there. We can take, I mean, we don't need it to be good food, we just need it to have a lot of calories to tide us over if we have to spend a night up there. Well, let's go to the eat menu instead and see, is there anything that rots that we could take with us a week? Some of these potato chips are going bad. Sausage only a week, huh? That's a real downer. Well, we'll eat the rest of these cranberries, why not? And we'll take the chips and sausage with us. Chip. Of course, there's no way to know which goes bad. More than one season, more than one season. Okay, we'll be old soon, less than a week. Past its midlife, more than a week. So we'll take those. Those still have a season on them, and we'll pick up the sausage as well. And we'll try to make those a priority for eating. We also have all these cracklins. Oh, 3 days. We eat a cracklin while we're here, because they have a good calorie count. Still hungry? Okay, well, we're going to head up to the old bay. Do we need anything else before we go? I suppose if we are possibly going to be trapped up there, we'll want a mortar. No, sir. Where's our mortar? The items. No items. Because it has a filter still. It doesn't clear your filter in that either for some reason. What are we looking for? Mortar. Mortar and pestle. I was in that pile when I searched. Yeah, I don't... Okay, it says it's in this... Hold on. Mortar and... Oh, it's in the wrong pile. Okay. That's my mistake. We don't need to carry the withered plants with us, or the seeds. Withered plants go on the crafting pile. Sorry about all this. I probably should have thought this through a little bit more. How are we doing on gas? We will also bring our rubber hose with us for siphoning. See if we can pick up some gas while we're out there. Do we have... There is still a glass jar in there. Go ahead and we'll pop on here. Didn't even look at the bike. How do you look at the bike? I thought G made you look at while driving. Okay, apparently you can't do that. We have 3.1 liters of gas. Yeah, we're fine. Can't construct. I didn't want to construct. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. Too heavy for its engines. Are you sure? Oh Lord. Went very fast. Okay. Zoom out. I know this is probably hard to see, especially if you're on mobile, but the safest way to drive is to be zoomed out a bit. Now there was a horde up here. I don't know if they're still up here. Seeing a lot of things. They're over there, that's okay. And some to our west. Not super concerned about it. That's a minefield. Don't want to go over there. Sometimes it's very awkward to drive this thing because you're just not sure. Like I don't know how to say what I want to say. Sometimes when I'm driving a vehicle, my brain just doesn't process what I'm supposed to be doing. I know it's ultimately just turn and press 5 until you're comfortable, but sometimes that's overloads my brain. Stop driving. Let's go in here and see what we left behind. We did leave behind the drills. I don't know that we're ever going to need them, but we'll throw them in there. I think we pretty well stripped this place down. Don't need really any of this. I mean, I guess we'll take the flares. I don't know that I'll ever use them either. And we'll grab the pocket watches just as replacements. Don't really need the leftover crafting materials. We'll take this for the plastic. Take the bones. Guess we'll take plant fiber. Cardboard boxes take up too much space. Take the heating elements, the wires, the pipes. What is this? Just the one map we've already used. A couple 2x4s. A couple more 3-liter jars. We'll go dump this stuff first because we're about out of inventory space. 2 pocket watches. Flares we don't need. Okay. What's our inventory look like? We're at 9 of 28. That's okay. We're carrying the toolbox, which is part of it. And we'll take the gallon jug as well. And I guess we'll grab the thermoses to take with us. And the plastic bottles. Really, all the rest of this is fine. Drop that stuff. I think we're going to unload the water. I mean, I guess we don't have to. What difference does it make, really? Gonna head to the swamp. A little worried about running into wasps here during the day, but I think we should be able to find a raccoon. Okay, I suppose I could try to kill the raccoon. I also suppose we should invest in proper butchering tools at some point in the future. Getting a butcher station and all that. Here's the cage zombie I'm not worried about. Saltwater right here. Can we pour it into the container from here? We don't. We can't. Why don't we see if we can... Okay, apparently that counts as a solid object. We'll just stop here. I want to get this guy out of the way before it becomes an issue. Okay. He was apparently already pulped. Saltwater, can we pour it from here? We can't. Can we back this up? We're under that blood spot. Okay. Well, wasn't there one right behind us? How's that? That should be close enough. Pour into container. Okay, so I guess we got to get it out of here, which is stupid. But we will pull the... Well, we'll just search for it. Metal tank, yes. Pour into container, metal tank. Can't hold any more salt water. Well, good. I don't think they leak unless they're attached to vehicles. Like if we had this damaged tank attached to our vehicle as a fuel container, it would leak, I believe, or reduce our fuel efficiency. It would do something, but I think that since it's just being used as an item, I don't think it leaks at all. Okay, a lot of fruit trees. Why don't we grab cattails? I don't know how many to grab, because if we don't make them all, we should have slept first, because it's a very time intensive process. Let's look at starch. So we can make starch out of cattail rhizomes, but it takes 40 minutes and it produces only one portion, which is a bit silly if I'm being honest. And it spoils in about a day, so we'd have to make that and then turn that. So the cattails spoil in 3 days. We could turn them into starch over the course of 40 minutes, which would reduce that to 1 day, and then we would make it into flour from starch, which of course, because we're using a mortar and pestle, will take an hour and 7 minutes, and then that takes many years to go bad. So I think we probably have more cattails already than we're gonna. Actually, we need the rhizomes, which we only have 5 of. 6 of. 7 of. So let's grab one more. And then we will drop the stalks, because we're probably never gonna eat them. These are the things with a very low calorie count, and eating them uncooked makes you very unhappy. So I don't know that we're ever going to use them, so we'll just dump them here. And I guess we'll just head back to base. This would probably be smarter to do in the winter time, where things could be frozen and not interfere too much with like their longevity. It wouldn't be a super negative to have them frozen in our base. We want barely any gas. Let's grab the empty 3-liter jar, and we will siphon that into the jar. I'm gonna head towards base again. I'm gonna stop at some of these vehicles just to pick up a little bit of extra gas. Why don't we ask ourselves a question, because this is a little boring. What mythical creature do you actually wish actually existed? Well, I guess the correct answer would be the unicorn, given my name. But that's probably not true. I don't know, there's lots of cool mythical creatures. I mean, I know it would be terrible, but it'd be neat to have orcs be real. I'm not a fan of elves. I know some people, their go-to answer would be like, oh man, well elves, of course. But I actually think elves are really stupid. Personally, never liked them. Always a bigger fan of like the not so good creatures in mythology. So most of the things that I wish existed would probably make life miserable for a lot of people. We're just going to go down the main road because it's faster. I can drive more quickly without having to worry about bumping into trees and bushes and things. It is a little more dangerous, but a lot of gas in this one. Fill our tank, and then we'll get what's left. Nope. Siphon. Fill the lighter, why not? Okay. That basically doubled our fuel because we really didn't have very much to begin with. It's an accident we're not going to be concerning ourselves with. Let's avoid these zombies so we don't have a repeat. There's that car we crashed, I believe. Don't hit me, child. And we're just going to speed home because I don't want to pick up any stragglers that will follow us all the way home. Almost hit a bush, which is pretty par for the course. Probably shouldn't be driving so zoomed in. And we'll go ahead and stop. Right there is fine. Did these pop over? No, still not. Ready. That's fine. So what we want to go in and immediately start working on starch, because it's going to go bad. And so we can make a maximum of 4 starch, which I think it was 60 charges of flour, which is not a lot, but is enough. Make that into starch. Immediately turn that starch into flour. We could do this using the food processor, which would speed this up considerably. I think we will do that. So we're gonna repeat the starch. Dispose of flour, store in inventory. Turn that into flour. Again, we'll use the food processor because it speeds up the process so much. Starch, I guess we'll just make both right now. Should really get some sleep. Yeah, I know. And we'll turn that into flour. And there you go. We now have why 30? Oh, because we're wielding the other 30. Let's go back to wielding our spear. Now we have 30 flour. Why are they different? Doesn't look edible. Well, I wouldn't expect it to be. Well, now we have flour, which means we can make breads, which means we can start making sandwiches and pies a little more reliably, which not a huge improvement, but it is calories if we need them, and because flour lasts for such a long time, it's basically can be treated as non-perishable. Probably should get rid of shouldn't carry a bunch of gasoline on my person. Seems like a bad decision. Go ahead and we'll dump the jar in there as well. A bit hungry. We're gonna eat these because they're gonna go bad, even though they're bad for us. We will drink. I think we just took in plenty of calories, so we will just drink water this time. And we will drop our flour. Drop our plastic bags, our plant fibers. Probably don't need the mortar and pestle. I think we probably want to keep everything else with us, so we're gonna go to sleep now. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Ixar from EverQuest. They're lizard people. They're mythological figures, I guess. Not really, because they don't exist in history. I'm a big fan of like reptilian monster things. I don't know, basilisks, nagas. They're cool. I mean, I wouldn't want to pick one thing. Like if I had the power to create from scratch a fantasy creature, it will probably not be one. It would be many, you know, because why would you only do one? Anyway, I think we're gonna check out the town a little bit more. What are these buildings? So there's a grocery store. It would be real nice to find a shopping cart, although that's less valuable now that we have a bike that we're gonna be taking with us most places. Duplex, restaurant, dojo. Oh, I'm on the wrong row. House, sewer. So in the last character, a sewer had a lot of technicians and electric zombies. So it'd be cool to go up there and maybe find some CBMs, but I don't know that, you know, I think I have the manual bionic mod installed. Yeah, so we don't need the auto dock and anesthetic kits in order to install CBMs. I don't know why I turned that on. I'm not a huge fan of the auto dock, but I typically play with it. So maybe we will venture up there. I actually think we're probably going to call this episode here, but in the next episode we're going to go explore the town a little bit now that we've got our flour, which is what I wanted. Probably should bring that saltwater in as well, just because we're going to want that around for crafting reasons. Yes, it's quite heavy. Who would have thought 60 liters of fluid would be heavy? So we're gonna wait because that stupid heartbeat pounding in my ears gets old. We're gonna save, and I think that's where we're gonna call the episode for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.